Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. And this one I got to sit down with my friend Eli from Talkin Ball with Eli Fishman here on YouTube. And it was the first time that we've had a conversation about baseball since the offseason began. So of course, we did a deep dive on the New York Yankees, both of our favorite teams, kind of dissecting what this offseason looks like for them and what it might mean for the 2021 season. We talked about major leagues, minor leagues, also the New York Mets, some free agent predictions, and predictions for the 2021 season. That's what you guys are getting ready to watch. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Don't forget to go ahead and check out Eli using the link down below in the description.
All right, so we'll start things off. Is DJ LeMahieu worth $110 million over 5 years?
I think DJ LeMahieu is absolutely not worth that much time and that much money because of his age. At the end of a 5-year contract, he's 37 years old. I mean, he does produce. He is a guy who's going to give you it all on the field, high batting average, high on base percentage, a lot of base hits, but he's not an exciting player. And, my favorite example to give is baseball is a business. You know, you do want on-field production. You do want base hits the other way. You do want a smooth swing. But what if you're a real fan? What do you want? You want someone who's going to belt home runs, who's going to post on social media every day, who's going to bat flip, who's going to talk a lot of trash. DJ LeMahieu is none of those things.
Yeah.
He's going to hit you a line drive, home run the other way. He's going to keep a straight face the whole time he rounds the bases. Yes, he's going to be a guy who produces, but look at jersey sales. Aaron Judge, considering how much better DJ LeMahieu is in terms of run production than Aaron Judge, look at the jersey sales. Look at the jersey sales for Aaron Hicks.
Yeah.
Aaron Hicks might not be even close to the best player on the Yankees, not even close to as good as DJ LeMahieu, but he's an exciting guy. He has smiles, posts on social media all the time, so he's going to sell jerseys. Same thing with a lot of those Yankee guys like Brett Gardner. He hit 199 last year, and I'm sure he's top 5 in the Yankees in jersey sales just because of his personality. So, when it comes down to the business, is DJ LeMahieu worth $110 million over 5 years if your goal is specifically and only to win games? Yes. But if your goal is to make money, rake in the big bucks, bring in fans, sell jerseys, which is the goal of an MLB team, it's not necessarily to win, then DJ LeMahieu is not at all worth that money.
Especially after the 2020 we just had where there were no fans and the Yankees lost so much money over a 60-game season.
Exactly.
You can't afford that, and then you're going to have to pay. I think you're already at risk of paying the luxury tax and all the money that's involved there. Adding $22 million a season for DJ does not help when we have Garrett Cole and Giancarlo Stanton already in the mix.
Exactly. And especially after last season and with teams not making the big money, I feel like no team is going to want DJ LeMahieu. Even a team like Toronto, who has a great fan base and who is going to make big bucks no matter what. We don't even know if Toronto is going to play in Canada next year.
Yeah.
They most likely are playing in Buffalo again or are going to start the regular season in Dunedin. DJ LeMahieu does not want that. DJ LeMahieu wants a nice fan base, stability, which is what the Yankees will provide him. They may not give him that ridiculous money that he wants, but DJ LeMahieu wants to be a Yankee. And at the end of the day, I think that's what he's going to be.
And even for me, what I've been doing this entire offseason, I've been really hoping the Yankees go Corey Kluber, Jake Odorizzi, one of them, bring back Masahiro Tanaka. No matter how much money the Yankees throw at DJ in 2021, it's not going to make a difference. We cannot win with the pitching staff we have.
Exactly.
So if he's going to come at that price tag, you might as well just let him walk and wait until next free agency when you have the top 5 shortstop class that you do.
Yeah, there's a lot of great options out there right now, especially with people don't forget even about a guy like Didi or, Angelton Simmons. There's a lot of great guys on this market.
Marcus Semien, too.
Marcus Semien, too. There's a lot of great options, but pitching needs to be the priority.
Yeah.
I mean, looking at the rotation right now, you're going to get Sevy halfway into the year. But right now, what do you have? You have Cole, Montgomery, maybe a Garcia and Clark Schmidt.
Potentially Domingo Herman if he comes back.
Potentially, but the dude hasn't thrown a pitch in the major leagues in 2 years.
Yeah.
We have no idea how he is. Masahiro Tanaka is a huge question mark. I think he wants to come back to the Yankees, but he's a 4-5 starter at best. He's an average late rotation starter, and the Yankees need more than that. So they really need to make some moves. But I do have a lot of faith in Brian Cashman and that Yankees organization. We've always had, as Yankee fans, we've had disappointing off seasons a lot. But, we've always competed. There has been disappointment, but there's never a bad team on the field for the Yankees. Even last year, or no, it was the year before, when they called them the Scranton Yankees,
Yeah.
because it was basically a AAA lineup. I mean, look at the guys like Tyro Estrada, Mike Ford, Brevlik Valera, Mike Talkman, the guys who just amazed. So I have faith, but I still want some excitement.
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting a long time for something to happen. DJ's rumors now of him talking to other teams. I think that helps us in a way because that, no matter how weird it may seem, I believe will lead us closer to signing him because we can negotiate opposing contracts. Like, if the Blue Jays come in or the Mets swoop in with a big offer, we might be able to tack on some more money to make him return or help him return because we know that the number one priority for both parties is for them to reunite in 2021. So it's just a matter of him actually in his camp going to other teams and figuring out what the best move is.
Yeah, and I even just think about it from terms of think about it if you're a big time free agent like DJ LeMahieu and you have all of these teams offering you big money. If I were DJ LeMahieu, I'd travel to every single stadium in the major leagues, just get a tour, see what they're offering, talk to everyone, maybe negotiate a big mansion in my contract, just to see what I can get away with, kind of. And even just to have fun with that free agent process. A lot of it is having fun. I think Manny Machado talked about that a lot during his free agent process. There was nothing more exciting for him than being able to go to Yankee Stadium, put on the pinstripes, even though he's not a Yankee, and just walk around New York and see the fans embrace him and see his name up on the Yankee scoreboard. So I feel like it's the small stuff like that that really means a lot to a ball player, just a person in general. So, I feel like DJ LeMahieu should have some fun with it, especially while he's a, high price, big household name like he is right now.
Yeah. And the thing with DJ too is like, I love him. He's going to be so valuable with us if he comes back, and we saw what he did in 2019 and 2020. But the fact that he could play first, second, and third, he's a top the lineup bat that can hit for high contact, as we see. He has the occasional pop. He can hit the long ball every once in a while, but he's just such a great player to have, and everyone was so key on, oh, it was the Coors effect, and he's not that great, or he's not going to perform well, but the short porch really helps him out. And the Yankees, we have to bring him back, but if we don't, I can see a bright future for us still. And like you said, Cash, and a lot of confidence in him. I know that Lindor was supposedly a backup option for us, and now he's no option because he's with the Mets. But, if LeMahieu doesn't come back, you'd have to hope they at least go get a Semien or a Gregorius, and they move Gleyber over to second. They maybe bring in a Kluber and Odorizzi. Like, what would your ideal backup plan be if we lose him with the free agents that we currently have?
Trevor Story, 100%. I'm very, very high on him. He's a great ball player. I know you talk about the Coors effect, but he's still a bat to ball guy. He still goes out there, gives it his all, and he's a guy who's going to succeed in the New York market. He just feels like a New York Yankees shortstop. He's a little bit quiet, but a little bit fun and outgoing. He puts bat to ball, hits long home runs, just the smile on his face, plays the game with his all. And he's young. He's probably like 24, 25. So I could definitely see Trevor Story in a Yankees uniform, and I know Brian Cashman likes him.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it was Andrelton Simmons, someone with the Angels organization, like high ranking, was with the New York Yankees at one point under Cashman, and they kind of liked Andrelton. So if we do have a shortstop option for this like 2020, 2021 offseason, I wouldn't mind Andrelton signing a 1-year contract just so we have someone to fill the second base gap if we use Gleyber Torres. But like if not, it would be Wade, right?
I hope not. I'd revolt if Tyler Wade was my opening day shortstop for the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
Dude can't hit above, like, I love him. I love him. Dude can't hit above 215 and is not even close to the skill of an MLB starting top 30 short. He's not even near top 30 shortstop in the Major League Baseball. in Major League Baseball, so he doesn't deserve to be starting. Even if it's, I'm trying to think of what minor league shortstop, what minor league infielders they have. They definitely have someone. Kyle Holder got Rule 5. He was a great defensive shortstop. I don't even remember who he's with now. But there's always options. I feel like a lot of people, you may not realize it, even in the minor leagues, how many amazing options there are for every position in Major League Baseball. And even if you don't have the top guy at your position, there's always someone to fill your needs. Think of all the minor league baseball players, even in Somerset that we've seen and we're gonna see, and throughout the minor leagues, there's so many amazing ball players, and there's always someone who's gonna step up and fill a role no matter what it is.
Yeah. And I like that point right there because that kind of transitions into the Patriots. This is our first time really talking quite a bit since they affiliated at the Double A level with the Yankees. Now, I don't know what your initial thoughts were, but like the first 24, 36 hours, I was kind of like, I wasn't sure because I'm going to miss the Johan Gonzalez, the Scott Kelly, the staff that they had, even like Brett Jody and John Hutton. Like those guys make the fans experience. But now at the Double A level for the Yankees, I know there's a lot of people saying, that they may or may not show up, that this is now an affiliated thing. It's all, it's all under this big master plan. But I'm excited. I think being able to watch the Yankees farm system practically in like our backyard, like I think the stadium's pretty close to you, I want to say. Like it's a lot of fun, and having these young guys, Anthony Volpe and Jason Dominguez might make his way up, and even if like Clark Schmidt or David Garcia gets sent down to Double A, like we're gonna be right there. It's gonna be a lot of fun to witness.
It's going to be amazing. I definitely understand the anger with a couple people at the very beginning because it was affiliated. But again, what's the number one goal? Money.
Yeah.
And great for the organization, the Somerset Patriots organization. Great for our area of New Jersey. We have the Double A affiliate of the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
We've never had a serious affiliate in this area. So it's so exciting. Away from money. Just building the community, building the excitement, bringing people to the area who wouldn't normally be here. It's super exciting, and you're gonna get to see the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
I mean, we're still gonna get to see our Somerset Patriots, but this is the New York Yankees.
Yep.
So I'm super excited, and also I'm super excited for the stadium upgrades. That's gonna be great. There's a lot of great stuff coming that way, and just the media members that we're gonna get to rub elbows with. In Somerset, and just the new people that are going to come in, hopefully tons of new season ticket holders and new people that are going to be brought into this community. So it's super exciting.
It's going to be a great experience, great opportunity too. I mean, Somerset being able to have this like smooth transition, and now there's so much coming to the Patriots. Like you mentioned, the renovations and all the upgrades that are coming in. Like that's going to be like awesome for everyone, like the fans, the players, the staff, everything. And not only are we going to see the Yankees development process, but now the other teams, we're going to see like so many young kids with a lot of potential. It's like the next generation or two of baseball be right in front of us. And that's an experience, like you said, we just haven't had because of the Atlantic League. It's great to see some guys who've made it to Major League Baseball and they've come down, but now it's the other way around. The roles are reversed. It's going to be cool.
And even just, for the legacy, Major League players always talk about their past. In the minor leagues, every major leaguer loves talking about the minor leagues. Having a major leaguer, a potential Aaron Judge, being able to talk about the community, being able to talk about the stadium, being able to talk about the restaurants, it's the small things like that that are going to have a great impact, and it's just so exciting. And the rehab guys too. It's always so much fun to be able to see. We're going to potentially see an Aaron Judge. We're going to potentially see a Domingo Germán at the beginning of the season make some rehab starts there. So it's going to be super exciting.
Yeah, and I'm honestly hoping that maybe Luis Severino comes down because he's still.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Tommy John.
He's 100% going to.
Yeah, like.
If Somerset, or depending on when he comes in, if it's past, I think May is when the Double A season is supposed to start as of right now. We're 100% going to see Luis Severino pitch on the mound of TD Bank Ballpark in Bridgewater, New Jersey. So it's exciting.
Definitely. And a nice smooth transition again into minor league stuff. The Yankees making some moves, nothing too crazy, but they traded for Greg Allen, I believe, who was DFA'd by the Padres. They have Julius Chassin coming in on a minor league deal, which I personally think is going to be a great move, and we can get into that first if you want.
Yeah, I don't know too much about Chassin. I know he has a great fastball. He's an electric guy. Um, I think he was with the Rockies to start his career. And I know he pitched very well, but again, it's just a small guy or a small piece of a team in a small market just never quite works out. Thinking of guys like Tommy Kahnle, he was not really I would say a real star when he pitched for the Chicago White Sox. But when he comes over to a big market, or sorry, when Kahnle was with the Rockies, he pitched for the White Sox for a little bit. But when he was with the Rockies, he was kind of a nobody, and he was just as good as he was on the Yankees. And then when you come over to a big market and you see a guy in Yankee Stadium having the stuff like Chacin does, who has like 100-mile-per-hour stuff, it's going to be exciting, and he's going to be one of those guys where Yankee fans are going to be, where did this guy come from? So, it's exciting. They've made a lot of moves that have kind of gone under the record. So, it's exciting.
Yeah. Chassin is now with the minor league deal with the Yankees. It looks like in 2020, he pitched in 2 games, had a 7.2 ERA, 5 innings pitched, small sample size. He's 33 years old, though, debuted back 2009. So at the bare minimum, you're getting a veteran who's got some promise to him. And I think there's a chance that if this Yankees offseason really goes south and we maybe get LeMahieu and nobody else, that he makes the 40-man and he's just an option to be that fifth starter instead of a Davey or a Clark Schmidt, or maybe instead of, like, if Domingo Herman just is not in a role, we maybe get him. And it won't necessarily be the worst thing, but I think out of the 3 small moves, this is going to be the best for us. And if he does make it all the way up, it's not going to be something that breaks the bank at all.
Yeah, even just a veteran in the minor leagues is always great. Eric Kratz last year was one of those guys that when he got signed before the season, absolutely nobody talked about him. And even if he didn't have an impact on the Yankees big league club, even if he didn't during the season, wasn't on the big league roster, the impact that he has on those younger guys is tremendous. We saw how great of an impact he had on the guys, like Garcia, like Schmidt, all the younger guys, especially the Central American guys. And Chacin is from Central America as well. So just, a veteran who's able to have been in their shoes and going to be able to coach guys up is going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think I mentioned it already. Like I said, though, I'm a big Corey Kluber, Jake Odorizzi. Get him a small
Yeah.
2-3 year deal, even if it's just a 1-year rental. I don't think they're gonna be way too expensive. I'm just kind of throwing a number out there, but it would most definitely be under, I'd say, 13 million per year for each. I don't think they'd get.
I would refuse to pay more than 10 or more.
Yeah.
I feel like a good thing about the Yankees is even though they have money, they don't quite overpay when they don't need to. So they just really need more pitching. No matter who it is, really, if we have a big league pitcher who's going to be even just a regular rotation guy, even an average MLB pitcher who I think the average is probably like a 4.2 ERA, that's a great piece in a team that is lacking an average MLB pitcher other than really Cole, because nobody else has really proved themselves in the big leagues yet. So, we just need a piece. It might just be one Corey Kluber, one Jake Odorizzi, whoever it is. We just need one piece to help glue this team together.
Yeah. And even Chassin, I think he was the opening day starter for the Brewers in 2019. So, like, he's the guy who maybe he just needs a change of scenery, and he can have a better, like, an average season. And we've seen that work for us and against us as Yankee fans. I mean, Sonny Gray is definitely one that you kind of think that transition into New York didn't help him much, but as soon as he left, he was good. So maybe Chassin's like the reverse effect, and that would be great. But at the end of the day, it's been very clear that just the pitching has killed us. Like, not just starting wise, the bullpen hasn't been great, and we lost bullpen names this year. So, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people aren't even talking about how we lost Kahnle.
Yeah.
I mean, last year I feel like nobody noticed, but Betances was a big loss. And now that we don't have Kahnle or Betances, that bullpen does need some work. The whole pitching staff really needs some work.
I think Holter's with the Cubs, right? He get up innings for us. Like, we lost him too. So really the guys we can rely on are Chad Green, Ottavino, Britton, and Chapman. And do
You
we
can't
really
rely
want
on them.
Chapman in
That's
our
the thing.
do we want Chapman in our closing role now? Like 2 years in a
Absolutely
row,
not.
like he's devastated us. So do you
Yeah,
make
I
this
mean,
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Chapman obviously is a great reliever, but you can't the way Aaron Boone has in the past. And I just for me, I really want Brad Hand
Yeah.
in our rotation. He's still a free agent. He's not a high priced guy. He's $7-8 million a year, and I'm sure he's the kind of guy that would want a short term contract, as many veteran mid relievers who aren't really big names do. And he's a top 10 reliever in all Major League Baseball. He's a lefty, someone who can really contribute to that bullpen, and he would be a big piece. I would love to add him.
That was actually my question was going to be like Hander, even Archie Bradley. He's a right-handed guy,
Yeah,
but he can maybe eat up innings for us, coming a little earlier
he
into
starts
innings.
too.
Yeah,
Bradley started for the first 2 years with the Diamondbacks and then moved to the bullpen, and he has had more success in the bullpen, but even just a few early innings, even just pitching as an opener, whatever it may be, it's just about building a puzzle. There's not one guy, there's not one DJ LeMahieu, there's not one Derek Jeter on a team that's gonna win you games. It's about building a puzzle through every single piece. And that's what the Yankees need to do. They can't be relying on a guy like DJ LeMahieu and Aroldis Chapman and Garrett Cole to get them through a season. They need a lot more.
and even Archie Bradley, like, does he get more than 5 to 7 million a season? I don't think so. Like, I wouldn't
He
see that being
doesn't.
the
And
case.
and going back to the business side, he's one of those guys who is going to sell jerseys.
Yeah,
He's got an electric personality, which New York fans absolutely love.
yep. So I think there definitely are moves where if the Yankees flat out lose LeMahieu, which would be terrible, but if we do, there are options for us. And honestly, we both touched on it multiple times. You just recently, a few moments ago, too. But like maybe losing LeMahieu wouldn't be the worst thing. Like if we add some pitching and we develop our team, not just focus on one, yes, versatile defensive player, but if we kind of develop our guys, especially our pitchers, that's a better outcome for us.
Yeah, absolutely. If we were to get, Simmons, or as I said, I really like Trevor Story on just a couple year, or even a long term deal, and we get the money that we want, not the money that a DJ LeMahieu would want, opposed to the actual Yankees wanting, I would be more than happy missing out on DJ LeMahieu. But I'd prefer he doesn't go to a division rival.
Yeah,
That would suck.
yeah. Right now, I'm just picturing him in Toronto, and it's like DJ
Yeah.
LeMahieu at second, maybe George Springer in center, or even like a Trevor Bauer potentially in the rotation. And I think this Blue Jays team is going to sneak under the radar to begin the year. I I can see them as a number two team in the AL East above the Rays and behind the Yankees. I think they've got that young core, and the Rays are losing their pitching staff, but we know Tampa Bay works off of small contracts and not paying guys a lot. So maybe losing Morton and losing Snell will actually help them, and they can find new guys for the roles. But do you kind of see a shift in the division standings in 2021?
I mean, I hate to say it, but to be brutally honest, if any shift, it's going to be the Yankees. The Blue Jays up, Yankees down. I feel like no matter what the Rays do with this team, they know what they're doing. They're so smart. The guys like who we haven't even seen in the big leagues. Shane McClanahan, we saw him in the postseason. The Pete Fairbanks, the Joe Ryan, who's in the minor leagues, the Wander Franco, the Vidal Brujan. These are all top 100 MLB prospects who haven't even developed. What's the catcher's name? Oh, I'm totally spacing out. They have this really good catcher who I saw hit like a 500-foot home run in the minors. Shoot, I'm totally spacing out. Ronaldo Hernandez.
Okay.
He's an absolute beast behind the plate, and the Rays missed out on some catchers, and who they were hoping to sign. They were front runners for Romine, but weren't able to get him. They just have so much depth in the minor leagues. Brent Honeywell, Ryan Yarbrough is an average MLB pitcher. And, as we just discussed, a guy doesn't need to be a big name. A guy doesn't need to be a 2.0 ERA, number one starter, all-star every year to make a major difference on the field. So I have so much confidence in the Rays. I would have no problem putting them at the top of the division right now. And after that, I would definitely say it's just between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays have a lot of work to do, especially with the pitching staff. I think they're definitely comparable to the Yankees. The Blue Jays have an amazing, amazing infield.
Yeah.
Guerrero, Kevin Biggio, Bo Bichette, and it's just going to get better and better. And the Yankees have that outfield of Stanton, Judge, a healthy Hicks, a healthy Gardner,
Frazier.
and a good Talkman, Frazier. So I feel like the Yankees and Blue Jays go hand in hand, and it's going to be close. I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if the two wild card teams are the Blue Jays and the Yankees.
Yeah. And that's assuming we even get the expanded postseason. Like, if we
Yeah.
don't, the Yankees run the risk of not making it, which is a scary thought because we haven't had to think about that in a while. But you would have to hope that our offense can bail us out more games than not, and the games our pitching bails us. But that's all reliant on a healthy Judge and healthy Stanton, which for a full season we have not seen in quite some time.
Yeah, I feel like we definitely do have the pieces. It's just about putting it together. The pitching. I feel like, we just got to round out that pitching, get a little bit more depth. You said Greg Allen as well as another outfield piece that could definitely be, a late inning replacement, a guy who's going to replace Judge or Stanton when they go down, not if, when. So, it's just about putting it together.
I think the third guy we picked up was Socrates Brito, who had that stint with
Yes.
the Diamondbacks. He was there for a bit.
He plays everywhere too. He could definitely help out.
Yeah, and you almost kind of wonder, like, Greg Allen, not a big OPS guy, I don't think. Definitely not having a high slugging percentage. He's going to be a contact hitter, if that. Switch guy for sure, but Brett Gardner is on the free agent market right now. Maybe we don't get him back. And I think at that point it's Yankees or bust for Gardner, which I hate to say it, but he's nearing the end of his career. If we don't get him back, I think Allen or Brito definitely would play a part, and they just add to that outfield depth. Of course, ideally, we don't start them anytime soon because that would mean we have a whole lot of problems on our hands, but definitely some nice guys to have just in case.
Absolutely, and you still have the guys in the minor leagues like Estevan Florial. You can definitely compete at the MLB level this year.
Yeah. So if we kind of shy away from the Yankees now, teams that have actually made some moves and kind of shook things up in the winter, how about the New York Mets? All their additions to this team. We've already seen Stroman come back to the rotation. We got Trevor May in the bullpen, James McCann behind the plate, Lindor and Carrasco, obviously two big moves. Like, they're just doing everything right. And what teams aren't doing right now is they're spending money and putting themselves out there, like trying to acquire guys. It's just working out for them.
Yeah, even just as a baseball fan, other than a New York Yankee fan, the Mets are ruling New York, and it's exciting. Even just having a team like the Mets that hasn't been successful since 1969, I would say, other than a couple years with David Wright and Jose Reyes and Johan Santana, they were still never really real competitors in the league, and they were never up there with the Godzillas of the league like the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. And now with Steve Cohen taking over, it's exciting. And no matter who you're a fan of, it's exciting to see a new team like the Mets come in and pick these guys up. This trade has been absolutely great for the New York Mets. It's super exciting, and I feel like Lindor is obviously huge, and this is huge for the Mets as a business, as a team, on-field production, jersey sales, everything. But Carlos Carrasco, who had an ERA just above 2, an above average MLB pitcher in a rotation or even just in a pitching staff. You've got Stroman, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Matt.
Peterson too had a great 2020.
Peterson. You got Dellin Betances in the bullpen, Trevor May, Edwin Diaz, Seth Lugo. This team is absolutely stacked. And even just the infield and the roster in general, Brandon Nimmo and Michael Conforto have a lot of potential. McCann has a lot of potential. He's definitely an above average catcher. Alonso, if he comes around, I really, really hope that rookie year was not a fluke.
Yeah.
And I mean, even if he doesn't have the same production throughout his career, no one who hits, what was it, like 53 home runs in one major league season is, unless he's Chris Davis. I was gonna say no one who has 53 home runs in an MLB season is gonna have a bad career. But then I thought of Chris Davis.
Yeah, there's
So,
always one exception.
well, actually, Chris Davis took which illegal performance enhancing drug was it?
Oh,
So I mean, so that may have not helped that much, but that's going to be my excuse for no ball player who hits 53 home runs is going to be that bad. So worst comes to worst, he's going to be an average 35 home run, 250 or even less. But if you hit 35 home runs, who cares really? Batting average guy every year. He's going to have great production. Jeff McNeil, now Lindor. It's exciting, and the Mets are really coming around, and I think they have a lot of potential to be right up there with the New York Yankees as the face of New York baseball.
yep. And I think personally, the Mets have had the best offseason thus far because
definitely.
we've seen the Padres upgrade their rotation, and within the course of 24 hours, adding two aces is incredible, especially when they are Snell and Darvish. But for the Mets, just enhancing every aspect of their 40-man roster in the rotation with the bullpen, and then offensively and defensively. And they're still linked to Springer. I think they're still in talks potentially with Bauer. Like, they're
Yeah.
not done yet, which is crazy.
Oh, not even close.
Yeah,
I feel like they have
too. Like,
maybe Brad Hand. They have a lot left to go.
yeah. So it's gonna be fun. I think that right now the only other additions they can really make would be George Springer. That would benefit them. I don't know if Bauer is the best fit for the Mets in this case. I would love to see him locally play in New York because of our location, Jersey and everything. But I think with the rotation that they have, if they can spend the money on a George Springer, go that route, that might just be me. But Bauer to maybe Anaheim instead would be great with the Angels or something like that. Maybe even Toronto.
Yeah. Bauer, I honestly feel like, going back to my first point, the big question marks up into the air about Toronto and their being able to play in Toronto, being able to have any fans in the stands. I feel like by the spring, most MLB teams will be able to have a decent amount of fans in the stands. In the NFL, aside from the New York teams, almost every single team at this point is allowed to have a good amount of fans in the stands. Toronto won't be able to have any. No matter what happens, almost. They're not going to be able to have any. And the Blue Jays, even if they do even play in Toronto, even if the Blue Jays do play in Toronto, he wouldn't want to go there. But they might not even play in Toronto. They might play in Dunedin. They might play, in Buffalo, as I said. And that's a big question mark for Bauer, and especially for a guy who wants a short-term deal. I don't know if he would want to go that route. I still think the Dodgers might just be the fit for him.
Okay.
On a short-term deal. Both of the LA teams. I would probably, if I were to just rank the teams I would think he would go to, I would probably say Dodgers, Angels, Mets, Blue Jays, and then maybe a team like the Yankees. You really never know. So yeah, Bauer definitely has a lot of potential locations, and wherever he ends up, I just hope it's a team that's going to compete. And I feel like he is a guy who just wants to be in the playoffs. And not what I haven't liked. What I wish I would have seen more of Trevor Bauer is being in the spotlight on primetime TV on those MLB Network showcase games, which the Reds last season, they were good, but they weren't really a team that people were talking about. They didn't have a lot of hype around them, even though, they weren't at all bad and they were in the playoff race for a long time. But going to a team like Toronto that's young, everyone's talking about them. The Angels, not so much, but the Dodgers, everyone's talking about the Dodgers. Everyone's talking about the Padres, the Mets. So a team that has hype around them, that's going to have cameras in Trevor Bauer's face. He's going to get a lot of interview requests. He's going to be on national television more commonly than he was with the Cincinnati Reds in a bigger market. That's what I want.
Yeah, and initially, like before the big trades happened with San Diego, I wanted him to head out there to the Padres, maybe.
He still might.
Yeah, join forces.
Reunited with Mike Clevenger too.
Yep.
Yeah, that would be fun. And I mean, I feel like like, to be honest, I'm guilty of it too. Where everyone is so hyped up about this Padres rotation
Yeah.
because of the additions they made, but I feel like it's not complete. As I was saying, you need more than one or two aces. You need at least three or four guys who are going to go out there and give up two or three runs or less over 7 innings. It doesn't quite, stats don't quite matter. How many All-Star games they don't have doesn't quite matter. Their pedigree doesn't quite matter. And especially since the Padres traded Luis Patino, who was to the Rays. He's going to be a great piece for the Rays, by the way. But he takes up some stuff from them. Lamet, I think that's how you pronounce it, is the other
Yes.
guy in the rotation. And he's good, but he's still young, still has a lot to prove. We don't know how he can pitch in the major leagues. So right now, Snell and Darvish is all the Padres have. You think about it, Clevenger is out with Tommy John. He's done next year. The Padres don't have Clevenger next year. So the Padres still have a lot of shoes to fill. But considering how close they came last year, they're definitely on their way.
Yeah. And I mean, they do have Chris Paddock as well, who's been pretty decent for them. Lamet had a great
Right.
2020 season at the big league level. So you almost wonder if they sign Bauer, if they get close in negotiations, are they putting all their eggs in one basket, like in the wrong place? Because their offense can easily be improved, and maybe there are guys that they should target other than Bauer. But if they go ahead and sign him, 2022, you're looking at Yu Darvish, Blake Snell, Trevor Bauer, and Mike Clevenger, and it just
Yeah.
doesn't get better than that for a
Yeah.
single pitcher.
That team would need to win the World Series.
Yeah,
No question.
yeah. You almost have to wonder because right now a lot of teams are selling. We've seen the Cleveland Indians, the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays really only with Snell, but they also lost Morton. The market's kind of winding down, and there's only a small number of franchises I think they're really going to go out and make big, big moves, and we've already seen the majority of them this winter. It's going to be the Dodgers, the Padres, the Mets, maybe the Yankees, maybe the Blue Jays. The White Sox have been active. And other than that, the Angels are really one of the only other teams I see like actually acquiring free agents. Do you like have a similar opinion? Do you think that's going to be tough for like some of the big name free agents to sign their desirable contracts?
Yeah, I feel like if you're a real free agent that is desired, you're gonna get what you want. Like a DJ LeMahieu, if he really wants that money, he's gonna get that money. But the thing is, would he want to be in the city that he wants,
Yeah,
right? So it all comes down to, what exactly a player looks for in a team. Liam Hendricks today signing with the White Sox, or maybe that was late last night. That's exciting. That's good for the White Sox. I feel
yeah,
like they definitely have potential. But, if a player wants to end up with a specific team, he'll take a small deal to get there. And if a team wants a specific player, even if, you know, players doesn't quite want the money that they're offering, they're still going to raise their price tag if they really, really need that player. So I feel like when it really comes down to it, if there's a good match, that match is going to happen. If Trevor Bauer, even if they're not offering the money, if in his head he really wants to go to LA, either the Dodgers or the Angels, because that's where he's from too,
yeah.
in LA. So and he went to UCLA, grew up there. So if that's where he really wants to be, he'll end up there. So I just feel like it's all about matchmaking.
Yeah. And the Chicago White Sox with the Hendricks move, are they now the team to beat in the American League, do you think?
Yeah, I honestly, the only reason their roster, yes, 100% they are. The only reason I'm skeptical to confidently say that is Tony La Russa. There's so much up in the air with him as their manager in the first place, but just his style, going with a new team. Any manager who has even a little bit of controversy or backlash, I'm not even talking about off the field, on the field, surrounding their hiring. Um, uh, who was the Mets manager? I'm totally spacing out on his name. A couple years ago, after Terry Collins.
Van Wagen? Or Van Wagenen?
No,
No.
their manager.
Oh, manager? Oh,
I'm
it's with
trying
the
to think.
Giants now. Oh my
Yes,
God.
I'm saying
It's
his
Callaway.
face in my head. Callaway.
There we go.
So right after his hiring, Mets fans weren't quite jumping up and down. It was kind of one of those, who is this? Is this really a guy we want to see with no managerial experience? You know, hasn't been with an elite pitching staff. Is this really the guy we want? There was kind of that feel. There was a little bit of that feel with the Yankees too around Aaron Boone, since he had no prior managerial experience.
Yeah.
Obviously that worked out, but there's always skepticism. Um, so I am skeptical about LaRussa going to a team where it's a very young culture, and he's what, like 78 something,
Yeah, he's up
maybe
there.
a little younger, but he just the fact that he's an old school baseball guy. I feel like that's how he's going to treat the players. A Luis Robert, a Tim Anderson, if he flips his bat, if he potentially shows up a pitcher, how is Tony LaRussa going to react to that? I he's one of those guys where I can just picture something happening in terms of getting in someone's face, an argument with, a player about something like that. Just small things, walking over a pitcher's mound, not running out a ground ball. He would sit someone out. So that's the only reason I would be skeptical to say the White Sox are the team to beat. But their roster, Garrett Crochet, now Hendricks, Giolito was electric last year. Anderson, Robert, they're going to be a great team. Jose Abreu, the MVP.
Yeah. So, what are your way too early World Series predictions in 2021? Who
Ooh,
is the representative from the AL and NL?
that's tough. I got to think about this one. Um, I think I would. Hmm. I mean, I want to say Yankees Dodgers
Okay.
because I think they are the two best teams in the MLB.
Okay.
With their full roster.
Yeah.
If something happens, if someone's unhealthy, if one of those teams sign a free agent, if someone gets hurt, you know, I'm trying to think. I do like the White Sox. The White Sox have a lot of potential. Hmm, I don't know. For now I'm going to stick with Yankees and Dodgers, but that
Okay.
will change in the coming weeks and months
Yeah.
and
No.
days.
Yeah. It might. And for me, of course, want to go Yankees. I think the Chicago White Sox, the only thing, they have a great back end of their bullpen. I'm not sure about the rotation depth that they have.
Yeah,
Other than Gio and Keuchel, I don't know what they're going to get production wise. Giolito, of course. And the Yankees are similar to them in that sense. And I think if it is like a Yankees White Sox championship series, the Yankees offense would stomp Chicago. You would have to hope, knowing the names like comparison wise, a Judge, a Stanton, Hicks, Frazier, compared to Anderson, Jimenez, Robert, and all them, but Abreu too. They are very similar teams. I think that version of an ALCS would be fun. White Sox
yeah.
Yankees and like a new rivalry almost. In the National League, like Padres Dodgers would be awesome to see in the CS. And
Absolutely. I feel like it's definitely gonna be between the Padres and the Dodgers,
yeah,
for the pennant.
yeah. And you almost have to wonder like the entertainment that would surround a White Sox Padres World Series. Just two
That
teams.
would be fun.
Yeah.
Young Electric. Oh, that would be great.
Like that would be amazing for baseball and for these two teams that haven't made it that far in quite some time. But I think
Yeah.
realistically, yeah, Yankees and Dodgers or Yankees and Padres or even Yankees and Mets, a Subway Series, World Series. I don't see if New York beats LA or San Diego, while trying to go for the pennant. But if they can, that would be a lot of fun.
Don't count out the Rays too. That might be my sleeper World Series pick. Rays Mets. That
Okay.
would be fun. I
Yeah.
feel like that would be a good combination of teams.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of talent, and like the New York Mets are picking it up. Chicago White Sox are making a solid push. San Diego is going to be great. So that aspect of things is going to be exciting. I know we talked about Bauer really quick, but some other free agents. Do you have like a particular JT Realmuto landing prediction?
Let me think about it. The Rays were one of my original picks.
Okay.
On a short-term deal, maybe 1-2 year deal. I could definitely see him fitting in with them, but that would only be if he doesn't get the money he wants elsewhere. I could definitely see him with a return to the Phillies. I could definitely see him on a team like the Texas Rangers or even the Cardinals if Yadier Molina chooses to move on. Um, you know, yeah, I could. Trying to think who's the Padres. Oh, actually, let me scratch everything. White Sox.
White
White
Sox.
Sox. Yes, Monty Grandal didn't perform the way he wanted. The White Sox wanted it all last year. Real Muto would be a great upgrade. I don't know what Grandal's exact contract status is. He might even be a free agent.
I think it
But
was 4
I feel like Real
years
Muto would.
last year.
Oh, then I don't know about that. But they could get rid of for conversation's sake. I do feel like Real Muto would fit in well with that White Sox team. Another team is the Angels, who are looking to add pieces. Someone of that sort. If the Angels get Bauer, I could definitely picture them getting a guy like Real Muto.
Yeah. I think for JT, like there's some free agents we've heard nothing about this winter, which is weird and concerning.
Yeah,
Realmuto being one of them. Him and Ozuna,
Gardner,
really, we haven't heard much.
Tanaka,
Yeah,
Ozuna, Mets. That would be if I feel like Ozuna could definitely be a piece if the Mets don't get Springer. There's a lot of great outfielders that are free agents right now.
yeah, yeah. I think JT, like, if he doesn't return to Philadelphia, which might honestly just be the most realistic move right now,
Yeah,
he'll either go, like, maybe, like you said, the Angels. The Blue Jays might be unattractive for the same reasons that you've stated, just like their location. We don't know and everything, but maybe the Jays go ahead and try to sign him for like 3, 4 years. He would be a great catcher to have, definitely an improvement over Danny Jansen. So, like he's definitely a question mark, and I feel like he might end up being a Machado Harper type signing where it's like
wait,
February.
right. I definitely picture that. But the Blue Jays is a good spot. I like that. Young pitchers, just a young team in general that could definitely use a guy with some experience like Real Muto, who's obviously a top tier MLB catcher.
Yeah, and then where do you have Springer going, if anywhere?
Um, it's hard to picture him anywhere other than Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see him going to the Mets, but it's just to see him leaving Houston, especially after everything he's been through with that team. And I still feel like that revenge tour for the Astros, even though I don't want to see it happen.
Right.
I feel like they're not done being a top team in that division and just in the American League in general. So I feel like the Astros and even just the players on the team still want a lot of, I guess you could say revenge and still want to keep that team together and produce as much as possible and prove as many people wrong as possible. So that's why it's hard to see Springer anywhere else. I mean, that's the only way to put it.
I have this gut feeling that if Springer signs with the Mets or if he signs with the Blue Jays, that Bauer or Realmuto would go to the other. So, like, if Springer goes out to the
Yeah.
Toronto Jays, like, maybe Bauer goes to New York or whatever. But I feel like those two teams are almost destined to sign a Bauer or a Springer or a Realmuto. I would think, like, the outfield in Toronto, if they can secure a contract with George Springer, would be him in center, Lourdes Gurriel Jr., and then Teoscar Hernandez. So 3 great
Yeah.
guys out there, at least offensively. I, I really don't know. Like Springer's is weird because he's had a lot of connections, like the Mets, the Blue Jays. I think Boston has shown interest in him among other, like, mid-range free agents. So it's tough to see where he goes, and like Houston almost seems like it would be the perfect fit for him. Just whether or not he makes that deal it's going to be weird. And the fact that we're in the middle of January and we've only seen like one top free agent sign in Hendricks just less than 24 hours ago, it's weird.
Yeah. And I mean, I just feel like Bauer would love to be in New York with Lindor and Carrasco now, especially, but there's just not quite room for him in that rotation.
Yeah,
It would be hard. I mean, they would have to potentially trade some guys if the Mets wanted to get Bauer. They would have too many pieces. Um, so that's why I would have skepticism there. Yeah.
yeah. It's imagine that rotation though, like DeGrom, Bauer, Syndergaard, and then you still have Stroman, Peterson, Matz, like all these guys.
Too good to be true. That
Yeah.
rotation is just like too good to physically exist.
Yeah, it's crazy. And Steve Cohen coming in, he's starting a dynasty here. This is a new era for the New York
Absolutely.
Mets. And I believe
Absolutely.
we have a Subway Series coming up late in the 2021 season. That will be exciting. Yet, Yankees,
Very
Mets.
much.
You know,
Especially wherever some other free agent sign, that could definitely be fun because the Yankees are up there in every single free agent. It feels like, even if they're not the front runner, they're up there, and because the money they have, they're negotiating with everyone, and they have a lot of open spots.
Right.
So anyone who signs with the Mets, and even just the Mets in general, and Lindor, who was rumored to potentially be traded to the Yankees,
Yeah.
Just the Subway Series is going to be so much fun.
So I do want to wrap things up right here. I don't want to take too much more of your time, but I do notice the cards on your wall. Are you a big like baseball card collector, football? What are you into?
Yeah, so between the ages of probably 8 and 12, I was like crazy collector. Like I
Okay.
didn't quite know a ton about the actual value of the cards and everything. I was like a crazy collector. I'm talking like 40,000 cards, like hundreds of pounds of boxes. And then I sold a bunch. I picked out like the 1,000 best
Okay.
and sold everything else. And just during the pandemic, with all the downtime, I've gotten into them again, just with like the better cards that I have. Trying to sell some on eBay, picking up a couple now and then. So I just put a couple random cards of some of my favorite baseball and football players up there.
Yeah, I have probably what's nearing now like a 7,000 card collection. I've pretty much been in it. I used to go to a baseball camp and they'd like reward kids with packs of cards, which I thought was just such a cool way to do it.
Yeah.
And that's where it all started. And now I have vintage, I have the current stuff, autographs, relics, left and right. Like, do you have a favorite card? Do you have any like autographs or relics laying around?
Yeah, I have a ton of autographs and relics. None are of super high value though. It's all mid tier. Like I have, the Mo and the Jeter, just regular jersey cards. Nothing too crazy. No serious autographs. Gary Sanchez, Hideki Matsui, um, those kind of autographs. Nothing too crazy. But my most prized card, is I'm trying to build a Derek Jeter rookie card collection.
Wow.
So I've got about 9 or 10 so far, and I'm trying to build as many as I can. There's like 20 plus of
Yeah.
them, but I'm trying to get as many.
So do you like send them in to get graded? Do you use PSA or anything?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not. And I don't know if you do, but my advice would be absolutely, or anyone watching, never send your card to PSA unless it's over a $1,500 card before you send it in.
Yeah.
Like just a base card, or not graded, nothing. If it's over $1,500, send it in. If not, no way.
I think I
Because it's a
have
waste
four.
of money. It's a risk. It's
Yeah.
it's just not a good idea.
And I don't like the idea of them traveling through the mail either, like, and then
Exactly.
not getting them back. I think I
And
have,
you have to pay for insurance too. It's
yeah,
extra.
yeah, and that's crazy. I have 4 PSA slabbed cards, and they're all like things I've won in giveaways on like social media or whatever. Like a Vlad Jr. 10 rookie card, and you know
Oh,
Tatis Chrome. I think it got graded a 9 from PSA. But like other than that, I just have my collections. I have the one touches, binders, the heavy duty stuff, but nothing like that. That's too much.
yeah. I mean, I don't really have anything that's too recent with like the, Vlads or anything. I really wish I had more money for some Bowman from this year with Jason Dominguez and all that hype around the card. But yeah, I'm just trying to have fun with it and not quite get too caught up in spending serious money.
Yeah, yeah, and it's definitely tough, especially with the hobby boxes. Those prices that they value them
Yeah,
at.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. Just my what I the only it's just fun for me to go to the card stores and just look through the 50-cent boxes and spend no more than that. And what sucks is I used to go to this card show in Garfield. It's like 20 minutes from me.
okay.
It's right outside of the city, and like there would be like 20 tables of just cards, 50 cents. Just I've spent hours and hours going through boxes, and I wish they were open now, but because of Corona, I, I don't know when the last time there is, and I don't know if there even will be a card show for a
Yeah.
long time, which sucks. So I've really been missing that.
Yeah, we haven't done a whole lot of collecting on my end. I just over the holidays I've gotten some like boxes and pulled some autographs and stuff, but some of these cards are very expensive, but
Yeah,
the thrill of just opening up packs is a lot of fun, and just whatever you pull, and either way, it's nice to add to the collection.
absolutely. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So if you ever have time, you want to like go through collections, that'd be cool. I mean, just like
Absolutely.
the big stuff,
Absolutely.
obviously base cards and everything, but yeah, I've been collecting the complete sets for years now, so I have like I think 2017 on. That's when I really got back into it after like my single digits, but like 2017 through now, I pretty much have all the complete sets and the rookie cards and everything. But only thing I don't have is a Juan Soto flagship rookie.
Yeah. I I stopped like seriously collecting. I guess it was 2014, which was so I have like the Lindor and Syndergaard and all those rookies, but after that, nothing, unfortunately.
It's a lot of fun. Do it for the
Yeah.
thrill of it and just enjoying it as a baseball fan, not necessarily for the value of it all.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Anytime. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
You can never say no to talking baseball.
yeah, especially something like this. This is great, just sitting down, taking the time, and we both
Yes.
appreciate the game and everything that goes into it so much. It's definitely a lot of fun to just sit down and talk for a bit.
Absolutely. It's a great time always.
Yep. All right, thank you.